I'm Alondra, and this is your daily charge. So I want us to start out by talking about some science. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the concept of your body going into survival mode. And survival mode is basically the consequence of your body not getting enough to eat. And I wanted to list a couple of the things that happen biologically when your body does fall into survival mode. And one of the things is that your body starts breaking down muscle to release the glucose stored inside so that it can use it for energy at a later time. Another thing that happens is that your body slows down its metabolism, and that's in an effort to conserve as much energy as possible for who knows how long. Overall, survival mode is just your body not getting the nutrients it needs to survive. And in our current state, we may not find ourselves in a spot where our bodies feel the necessity to go into survival mode, but I believe that if we're not careful, we can fall into a state of a spiritual survival mode where our faith is being broken down, our zeal is being slowed down as a result of the things going on around us and in our lives. And I wanted to share scripture today with you guys that I feel really addresses this, and it's in Psalm 92 verse 12 and 13, and it says, the righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. And I love that it compares the righteous to plants, because I'm not a botanist, but I do know that if a plant isn't deeply rooted in the soil, it cannot get the sufficient nutrients it needs to grow to its full potential. Even if it's slightly damaged, the lifespan can decrease by a lot, and the growth process can slow down drastically. And I really want to take this time to ask you guys, are you getting the nutrients you need to survive spiritually? And I love that the Christian Standard Bible version of this uses the word thrive instead of flourish. And just to substitute it in, it says, the righteous will thrive like a palm tree. They will thrive in the courts of our God. And I really want to make a point to state that there's a huge difference between surviving this time in our lives and thriving through this time in our lives. And thriving can look different for many of us, but at the end of it all, are we going to God in deep prayer every day? Are we going to His Word every day with a heart that's willing to learn and willing to be convicted? Or are we trying to survive by just getting, as 10 minutes of prayer, 30-minute worth quiet time? We have to make the choice to really use this time to our advantage, to benefit us in our relationship with God. Because we can either come out of this quarantine as fired up and zealous disciples, or we can come out as disciples who barely made it out, who just took whatever they needed to survive, to make it day by day. And I wanted to share a quote that I found that I think is very fitting for my message today, and it says, thriving, that's fighting. Surviving is barely getting by. And I want to ask you once again, are you fighting to thrive? Are you making those decisions to really take your relationship with God to the next level? Are you deeply planted in the house of the Lord? And I think one thing needs to be certain when we're trying to thrive is that the habits we've created to survive in the past cannot help us when we're trying to thrive. So I want to challenge you, if you find yourself in a spiritual survival mode today, now is the time to get out of it. Make new decisions, create new habits, get new convictions, whatever you have to do to really thrive in your relationship with Christ, do it, because it is so worth it.